being humble, what it really means to be a leader, be an expert. So I know many of you came here for a number of different reasons. Some of you wanted to network. Some of you were curious. I imagine most of you at some place in their lives have been feeling they want more. They want to do more, they want to be more, they want to achieve more. So you're looking for something that can do that. So I think this is a strategy that works. It's something that I've used in my career. And let me give you a little background about myself. So for 25 years, I've been a management consultant, and I've been working with business owners and executives, helping them solve challenges to growing their growing their revenue, profitability, and improving the quality of their services. Just about everybody I meet has a challenge I can help with. So very recently, I decided to also get into coaching. I took on another major responsibility, and that's on a selective basis to work with small businesses to coach them to grow. And one of the things that I felt very important to do was to teach them what I know. So that's what we'll be doing here. As soon as I can figure out how this works. Okay, so you're all here, you want to grow your sales exponentially, right? Who doesn't want to, if you're in sales, want to grow your sales exponentially? Maybe you're not in sales, maybe you just want to grow your contacts, the number of people that know and seek you out and turn to you advice. How many people in that category, right? A few of you, great. So why follow my advice? Why would you follow this guy from Dresher, Pennsylvania? Many of you know me from the neighborhood. Why would you follow my advice? So one of the things I can tell you, I can guarantee you that this advice, this framework that I'm going to provide you with, will help you improve your pipeline of sales. It'll get you more leads. It'll get people coming to you. You'll pull people to you rather you feel you have to chase after them. I can tell you also from experience, it can generate millions in revenue. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just saying this to demonstrate you what's possible, what you could achieve when you follow this framework. And you can position yourself as an expert. That's most important, what this is about. So even if you don't make any money at all, but if you can help somebody, if you get behind some things you truly believe in, put yourself out there as an expert and you can build a following, I think at the end of the day, that's what's the most important aspect. And I know for me, it's not about the money, it's how many people I can help. And most importantly, go from great to exceptional. Isn't that what we all want to be? We want to get to the next point in our sales, our lives, and our relationships, have an exceptional life. So what's in it for me? So I shared with you why you should follow my advice. What's in it for me? Why would I do this? Why would I tell you? So why would I tell you? Well, I truly believe it's important to give back. Second of all, I also believe that there's a shift in human consciousness. Okay? I believe that the events that are happening in the world have been happening for some time. We've gone through a world where we've been very egotistical, focused on our own needs and our own desires, and now because of human events, we're having more and more reasons to help other people and give back. Some of you may feel that coming from a while, some of it may just be waking up to it, and some of us feel that we really need this even if we don't see it in our lives. We also are seeing in the business world a lot more businesses, a lot more companies are getting their business by putting information out there, by positioning themselves as thought leaders and as experts. So they're giving value before they even get the business. So that's one of the takeaways I hope you get from this, is to give value to your customers, to your prospects, before they even become your clients. They will become your clients when they see the value. So what's the catch? Okay, so I know there's lots of stuff in here. Some of it may be new, some may be contradictory to what you already know and believe. You might feel that you want to challenge me on this. This isn't the forum. I don't really wish to be challenged, but I do want to hear your opinion. We can exchange ideas. That's something we want to do later. Okay, we want to have a conversation about this. I've structured this as a lecture, so we won't have a lot of time for interaction, and I hope you'll forgive me for that. But at the end, I'll be here to answer any questions to the group or one-on-one. So how did I learn this? So there are a couple ways I learned this. One was from my father, okay? And the story with my father is that I decided to go to work for him. And he was a real leader in his field. He was a thought leader, he was a trailblazer. And I was like impressed by that. I was like, I want to be that too, and I wrote, just be like Daddy. So I went and he said, you know what, you can work with me, but you're gonna have to learn all this on your own. You're gonna have to figure this out. I'm too busy. I'm on the road, I'm getting business. You're gonna have to learn how to do this. So first I started learning the craft. I learned the mechanics of being a management consultant. It became very clear that not only did I need to know how to do it, I needed to attract people. I needed to get people to listen to me. Because one of the challenges I had was that people were saying, you're just Don's son, you know, who are you? The people that I work with in my own firm and his client, our clients. So he said, you really have to get out there, get out from under my shadow and create an image for yourself. Get people to see you as the expert, as a leader. So I learned two ways. I learned from him by modeling it. He didn't really teach me, so to speak. He did stuff, I watched it, I modeled it. And that's what you guys can do. But also through a lot of hard work and sweat. And that's where you learn. That's where you get your greatest growth, is when you challenge yourself and you push yourself. So that's part of how I learned this. And I hate to see you go through all the challenges and trials and tribulations that I went through. So that's part of my giving back, is to share with you what I learned and what worked. So I want to give you some guiding principles behind this. So by the way, is anyone else faced with that? Like you're in a field and you feel like there's something else out there that's, you know, kind of like getting in the way of you getting business. Maybe there's a #1 competitor that you're pushing harder and harder to take some market share with, or there's somebody that's, you know, really a luminary and you feel like there's somebody else out, you know, that you're the next guy. And how do you get people to convince you that you're the guy to trust, to work with? Anyone feel that way in their own businesses and own lives? Yeah, I see some of you shaking your head, so thanks for all being honest with me. So I want to give you some guiding principles here. One of them is that market knowledge trumps product knowledge. So what do I mean by that? I'll ask you a question. Look, I will make it an act. Anyone know what I mean by product knowledge trumps market knowledge trumps product knowledge? Sure, go ahead.
Understanding the environment you're in.
Huh?
It makes you far better than being an expert in your product. I mean,
What?
see some really salespeople who really have no idea what they're selling, but they know their environment, and they're much better than somebody who may know everything about, you know, the product but doesn't know the environment better.
That's a good answer. That's part of the answer. Anyone else?
I think a product is a key to a particular solution, and things are dynamic, so what you're solving with a particular product may not be a need in the future.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Buggy whip.
Any other thoughts before I share my thoughts on this? Okay, so what I mean by this is that a lot of salespeople, when they talk to a prospective customer, they're talking about their product knowledge or their technical knowledge. If they're a CPA, they're talking about CPA stuff. If they're selling a product or selling the computer, they're talking about the features and the benefits of the computer. But you know what? Everybody who's selling computers is talking about the features and benefits of that computer. Every accountant is trained in the same sort of accounting. And I know that they're specialists, but they're all the specialists in your field. So when you talk about your product knowledge, you're not grasping it. I forgot your name. Zeb. So Zeb was on to it. Is you're not engaging with them. You're not talking about them. You're talking about you. Now, what's the radio station that everyone listens to? It's called WIFM. I think I got it right. What's in it for me, right? So when you're talking to a prospect, right, you're talking about your product and why this product is so great and why you should have this product. Your customer says, well, what does it have to do with my life and my business? So we're going to teach you about how to incorporate market knowledge into this. So when you can talk to a prospect, if you can talk to somebody about their market, what's going on in their world, what are their trends that are happening to them, how that's impacting their business, you're going to get people to listen to you. And when you can build it up with facts, and when you can show them a solution to the problems they're facing, you're going to build credibility. And once you've established credibility with them, it's only a matter of time before they become your customer. You'll follow? Okay? The other one is that, in my humble opinion, I believe that thought leadership is more important than rapport. Now, I'm not saying rapport isn't important. Truth is, there's a lot of really good salespeople that really have horrible rapport. I know that my dad was a little bit bashful, I think. You know, he wasn't a social butterfly. But boy, the people were attracted to him like a moth in front of a flame because of his market knowledge, his thought leadership role. And so that's also something you can build rapport. If you're not a people person, I don't really consider myself a strong people person in business. But when I could talk to my clients, prospective clients, about what's going on in their world, about what's going on in their market, they've now become my buddy. They want to know more. They want to hear more. They see me as somebody who's a source of information, source of advice, source of solutions. So that's what you just want to start thinking about, is when you're in front of your prospective clients and customers, talk about what's going on in their world. But it's not just how's your son and how's your daughter. Really try to understand the businesses that your clients operate. Understand the trends. Understand the challenges they're faced with. And look at how your solutions help them. But start not first with your solution, but what's going on in their world. And I guarantee you, you'll start to see a shift. People will start to listen. You'll start to get some more leads, and you'll slowly convert that into business. So I want to give you a little bit about my story. I shared with you some of it already. I'll just review that I had a lot of challenges to building my business. Because my dad said basically, go out there, get them, Tiger. So that was hard to do that, and I had this reputation to live up to, which was difficult. So what I learned what he did. What my dad did was he gave speeches, he wrote articles, he did seminars. So I was like, I could do that too. I could take what I learned on a consulting project and go talk to people about what I learned. And that's what I started doing. Slowly over time, I started to develop a following. I started getting people calling me, asking for me. At a very young age, I was about 29, and I just newly minted MBA, and I started writing articles, and people were calling me. And within a very short period of time, almost within a year, I had a six-figure consulting engagement that took me all over the world. I was a very young man to do that. So that's one of the results that I got, was getting people coming to me, giving me six-figure consulting engagements. I think the best result of this that I want to share with you is that from this speaking, I developed a following. And it turns out that there's a company in New Jersey that was struggling to grow, and they needed help. And they had gone to an event where I spoke, and it was like a coincidence. You're from Pennsylvania, I'm from Jersey. You're from South Jersey. So they became my client. And they wanted to get some work with another customer, a very huge company in the same field. And they had a conference call, and they asked me to participate in the conference call. We need credibility, Michael. Come on this call, let them think we know what we're doing because we have you on staff. So we had the call, and the first thing they said, yeah, Michael Blumberg, we know you. Aren't you that guy that speaks? Aren't you that guy that writes papers on this subject? We actually want to use you at some point. We don't know when. We're not really ready, but we like what you have to say. Now, 6 months go by, I get a call from them. Now, this is a multi-billion-dollar company, a $22 billion company, they said, we really need your help. We really need to understand this marketplace that you're advising your clients on. We want to be in that marketplace, and we want to get there through acquisition. And we know that a lot of people know you. You know, they said, we know you a lot. You know a lot of people, but the truth was a lot of people knew me. I didn't know that many people. And so we got a project. It was a six-figure consulting project. And the goal was to build this business. So what I did for them was I built them from a $14 million company to over a $100 million company through acquisitions. And that led to a high six-figure engagement for me. All from that speaking engagement where the company in New Jersey hired me, brought me into a call. I got that project. And one of the reasons why I was able to help that business grow is because that was the case. The people knew me. So I was able to pick up the phone and I said to myself, this looks like a good acquisition target for my client. Pick up the phone like, yeah, we know you, Michael. We'll listen to whatever you have to say. If it's your client, it might be worthwhile for us to engage with them. But it even gets better because after doing that, after that success, I'm now working with Goldman Sachs, who's looking at this marketplace. So that's what can happen with you. You just connect the dots. Talk to enough people with enough credibility, build enough credibility, show them that you really understand the market, you're going to be able to connect those dots too. So as I said before, I think we need this new approach. I think we have to go from being, focused on our own products, what do we need from our client, to what we could do for our client. Now, we've heard that for years, but I think it's really becoming a reality, not just the events that are happening in the world, but again, I'm seeing this in business. There's some concepts called moving the free line. Jeff knows what I'm talking about. Moving the free line is you give more stuff away for free. The more free you have, the longer your line gets that people want to work with you. So that's part of the new approach. So there's some myths I want to bust, okay? Now some of you are probably saying, well, if I give too much stuff away, too much knowledge, they're going to take that knowledge and run to my competitor. That's not always the case. What will happen is that they'll see you as the source of that knowledge. They'll trust you more than your competitor because the competitor's not providing that information. Another myth is if I give too much information away, you particularly hear this with professionals, consultants, accountants, attorneys. If I give too much information away, they won't need me. But the truth is they're going to never know as much as you do. You're the experts. You were the ones that were trained in this. They cannot possibly anticipate all the challenges and hurdles that they need to overcome to solve their problem. So these are some of the myths that I want you to bust. And the last one is that I'll be ridiculed because nobody else is doing this. Well, sometimes thought leaders, they go first. Look at all the great leaders in our country. You remember Robert Fulton? People ridiculed him. Okay. We were ridiculed too when we started doing this. My dad and I were pretty advanced in giving stuff away, and people really were angry with us. You can't believe the complaints that we got. You're giving too much away, you're going to ruin the industry. Now it's common practice. So if it doesn't feel right to you, it means it's a chance for you to grow. It feels like you're pushing yourself to do something new, it's an opportunity to grow. And I think the rabbis here will like that, is that's one of the highest spiritual needs, is our need to grow. So I also think part of my story is that business is a spiritual endeavor. So I try to incorporate that practice in my life. And it's not always easy, sometimes the growth hurts, but we all learn from it, we grow. So I talked about the trends, about moving the free line, that's what's happening. If you look at some of your competitors, go to your competitors' websites, see for yourself, do they have downloads, free downloads, to draw people to them? Are they doing speeches? Are they writing articles? Do they have blogs? So this is kind of validating the trend about giving stuff away. So now we're going to get to the heart of this. I wanted to share with you a framework for becoming a guru. Okay, you all with me? This isn't too heavy. It's so early in the morning. Okay.
There's more coffee.
All right. So you saw this guy before, right? On the front slide. So this is Blummy. Okay. Blummy's my inner guru. Okay. And I believe we all have an inner guru. Another term for that might be our inner light, our inner Torah. And I think we all have that within us. This inner light with us, that our role, our mission here is to shed our light on others so they can grow and they can improve their lives. So I have this inner guru that helps me. And so part of the framework is the first step is to create the knowledge. I'm going to give you some steps on how to create knowledge. The next one is to transmit the knowledge. The third one is to integrate that knowledge into your business practice. And the fourth one is now become a leader in your industry with that knowledge. Let's talk about knowledge creation. So first of all, whenever you do anything, whether it's creating knowledge, learning tennis for the first time, whatever, you have to have a compelling reason. I don't think you achieve anything in life without a strong, compelling reason. Now, that compelling reason could be something as basic as I would like to make a lot of money. Or it could be as lofty as I'm doing this because I believe there's a shift in humanity. But you got to have that compelling reason, because that's going to be your drive. So in your own business, I really want you to do is when you get home, think, why am I in this? What's my compelling reason? What is there bigger than myself? If it's to make a lot of money, that's fine. That's so what? But that's a good starting place. Just remember to give push back to Chabad. Okay? Second thing is, you want to define your market and know your customers. So that's really key. That's critical. Who is your market? And who are the customers? You can't just say everybody, because you're going to find if it's everybody, it's going to be too generalized, and you're not going to get enough people seeing you as the expert. So you really need to be specific. Zeb, do you know who your customers and your market is?
Yeah.
How specific can you be?
It's very specific.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you're both of that. You're very specific. Okay. So, second thing, this term, does anyone know what an avatar is?
It's a character that represents your ideal customer.
Yeah. Now, I hope I'm not banned from Obama. I did some research on this. That's right, it's an avatar. An avatar is like a profile. Your ideal customer or your ideal whatever. Now, in India, an avatar means the divine. It's the image of the divine. So it's kind of, we're using this term in business now to create a customer avatar. But really, if you think about it, we're creating an image of what our divine customer is, what our most important customer is. So what we want to do is we want to have a profile, understand who is that customer, what's their age, what do they do for a living, what kind of companies do they work on, where do they live. Learn as much as you can. What's their socioeconomic condition like? What do they like to do on the weekends? What are some of the problems they're facing in their lives, in this stage of their life? So you have to gather that before you can create the knowledge. Then with that ideal customer, you have to teach them to solve their problems. That's the basis of this, is know and understand your customer, show them that you know and understand them, and then give them solutions to solve their problems. And last, establish buying criteria as part of that knowledge. So we're going to get to some specifics, but I wanted to start with the concepts first. So the best approach. Now, how many people